specialty. You've been doing it for years. When you sit down and think about your career, I mean, you're going to be honored today by the U.S. Chamber, the U.S. Black Chamber, as one of the top 50 powerhouse people in our country. What goes through your heart and mind when you hear that?
Man, you know, it's interesting because I'm always moving around and doing things, so sometimes I don't take the time to even think about it. You just do it. And at times I have to sit back and be like, okay, you are doing a thing. Like, it's amazing.
I gotta smell the roses.
It's a
blessing.
Congratulations. Thank you for stopping by on your busy tour around the world. I mean, we're just so grateful to have you.
Oh, no, I'm so happy I was able to make it. I was like, we got to get there early. I was excited to be here.
We love an early riser.
Many of us came to know and love you through The Breakfast Club.
Yes.
So first up, we got to get into The Breakfast Club most recent drama. Angela, we want your take on what has happened recently. You know, that argument that played out between Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, about women essentially coexisting in media and entertainment. And I always say that we have to learn how to work together and not compete against each other. Exactly, share the mic and also not feed into online criticism. Most recently, we learned that Lauren LaRosa, who's a producer there, obviously has been filling in for Jess Hilarious when she was on maternity leave. She's now launching a new podcast called The Latest with Lauren LaRosa. Now, the show is described as an extension of her popular segment on The Breakfast Club, where she breaks down the latest in news and pop culture. I'll begin with your thoughts on that and the overall drama that we all heard on the airwaves.
Well, I would say this. When I initially left, they did say they were going to hire 2 people. So that was always the plan. So, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know what's communicated to anybody. I know Jess was out on maternity leave. And I know that's tough too, coming back. I know she's expressed, you know, having a baby, postpartum, all of those things take a toll. And Lauren works really hard. And Jess does too. Like, she's on the road. And I think part of why they hired her was because of that. Like, she does comedy shows. She goes on the road. That adds a lot to the show.
Has a strong following.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times it is social media that tends to get people riled up. It's outside forces. It's not what's in the room, and that's what makes tension sometimes build. But what is good is when you can have a blow up and then work through it. And so we just have to see it publicly play out. But I think it looks like they're really working through it. And I feel like this can be an advantage because a lot of people can relate to blow ups in the workplace, and then how do you move forward from that? Because sometimes the resentment can just build and build and build, and then everything falls apart. But if you can catch it early on, that's a good way to make sure, let's squash this.
So if you knew that they were going to the 2 people or 2 women model, I know it was 2 women but 2 additional people, how is it that didn't get communicated to Jess Hilarious? Or at least it appears that way.
Well, I'm not sure what they communicated, but I know the plan always was, even when I was there, they were like, we should add another person.
Okay.
And so it was always like, okay, you know, we're going to hire 2 people. And I feel like they've said that, so I'm not sure what was said.
They both did. They both kind of mentioned that, you know, this was always part of the original plan. Somehow it was a shock factor.
Yeah,
Something
got lost in the sauce.
there was a breaking down of communication, and then she ended up blaming Charlamagne and of course, DJ Envy for not protecting her in that moment. But then she pointed back to you.
Yeah.
Why did she do that?
She just said I'm not crazy, and, you know, I knew that.
But what was she alluding to?
You know what? I saw her one time. We had like a women's event, and we didn't even have a chance. It was all the women at iHeart, so we haven't really had a chance to even break it down. I think she meant it more as a compliment, like Angela is not crazy, because people thought I was crazy for leaving the show. Sometimes people think as a woman you're the problem, and so when something like this happens, it's like, you know, she's not crazy. Like, people, who knows who said that? But
yeah, I thought she was alluding to the fact that maybe you went through something similar behind the scenes and you could relate. And hey, she's not crazy, and I'm not either.
I think all of us took it that way. We're just like, how did Angela get involved in this?
Right.
And we
I don't know. I haven't even had a chance. We saw each other. We were doing like these little group sessions, and we were like, we'll talk later. And
I'm sure you guys
then I left to go to Memphis.
Yeah, I hope that conversation.